Hello everyone. In this today's video tutorial, we are going to solve another example which will be based on analysis of stresses induced inside the power screws. The relevant course outcome for today's discussion will be design of to design power screw applications like screw jack and C clamp. Now we are knowing the background. The torque required to operate the application is given by Tt plus Tc, where Tt is the torque required to overcome the thread friction, that will be given by Wdm upon 2 tan of phi plus or minus lambda. Tc is the torque required to overcome the collar friction, that will be given by mu c W Rf or Rm. If you want to employ the uniform pressure theory, then you have to use Rf. Otherwise, if you want to employ the uniform pressure theory, then you have to use RF. And if you want to employ uniform wear theory, then you have to use RM, the mean radius. RF is called as friction radius, RM is called as mean radius. RF for uniform pressure theory, RM for uniform wear theory. Now also we know how to find out efficiency of the screw and nut arrangement and overall efficiency. Now already we had discussed that irrespective of the application, the stresses develop inside the threads of the screw, threads of the nut, and bearing pressure at the interface of screw and nut threads, that will be same, that will be given by these three formulas, that will be same irrespective of application. Whereas based on the application, the type of the stresses and the relative formulae for calculating maximum induced stress inside the screw body, that do change according to application as far as the stresses develop inside the body of the screw or shank of the screw is concerned. In your examination, if none of the application is specified, in general, if you want to calculate the maximum stress develop inside the body of the screw is also referred as shank of the screw. So in general, if you want to calculate maximum stress develop inside the body of the screw, then you have to use this formula. You have to use the formula for compressive stress. You have to use formula for torsional shear, and as the nature of the stresses is different, therefore it is a case of complex loading. Therefore, you have to employ a suitable theory of failure. For the case of screw, generally screw is made up of ductile material. Therefore, maximum shear stress theory will be applicable theory, and you have to employ this relation for calculating tau max. Then, if the application is other than the screw jack, any application like C clamp, shaft straightener, pipe wise, bench wise, like here I have shown a bench wise, then in such cases we have to take into account the two different portions of the screw, the portion or section of the screw nearer to the workpiece, and section of the screw shown by here YY, section YY, portion of the screw which is further from the workpiece. We have to analyze these two sections at both sides of the nut. This is the nut here. To the one side of the nut, there is a section which will be nearer to the workpiece. Another side of the nut, there will be section which will be away from the workpiece. So we have to analyze these two sections or these two portions of the screw separately. If you want to consider the section XX, which is nearer to the workpiece, then you have to take it into account the compressive stress sigma c, the torsional shear, which will be given by 16 times Tc upon pi dc cube. Note that here we have to take into account Tc, the torsional shear based on the Tc. Tc is the torque required to overcome the collar friction. Now, at this section XX, there are two different kind of stresses. One is compressive one, another is torsional shear. So their equivalent stress will be calculated, or maximum induced stress inside section XX, which is nearer to the workpiece, will be calculated based on the maximum shear stress theory given as tau max is equal to sigma c upon 2 square plus tau square under root. For the section YY, which is away from the workpiece, here this section is subjected to bending stress. Applied load can be considered as a load applied at the free end of a cantilever beam. This section YY can be considered as if it is a cantilever beam, and operator force P is applied on this free end of the cantilever beam. So it will produce bending moment MB, and due to this bending moment there will be bending stress developed given by 32 times MB upon pi dc cube. Here MB is calculated as the operator load P and length LUS. LUS is unsupported length of the screw, that is also representing maximum travel of the screw or maximum size of the workpiece. Here also uh, we have to calculate torsional shear developed inside this section YY, that will be calculated based on total D, which will be comprising TC and TT. So 16 times T upon pi dc cube. In the previous case, for the section XX, we had considered only TC, torque required to overcome the collar friction, whereas here for the section YY, we need to take it into account the total torque required to be applied for operating the application. Their equivalent stress or maximum induced stress will be calculated based on maximum shear stress theory given as sigma b upon 2 square plus tau square under root. If the application is screw jack, then we have to take it into account again two different sections, section XX which will be nearer to the load, section YY which will be away from the load. Now here the section which is nearer to the load, section XX, will be subjected to compressive stress given by sigma c as equal to W upon pi by 4 dc square. Then bending stress developed due to the applied load P, which may cause bending of the section XX, and so bending stress is developed. Sigma B is equal to 32 times MB upon pi dc. Both the sigma C and sigma B are of same nature, direct stresses, therefore they can be added to find out total direct stress sigma T. Then this section XX is again subjected to torsional shear, which will be given by 16 times Tt upon pi dc cube. By mistake, I have forgotten to mention Tt. Here, you have to read it as Tt instead of T. Actually, it is Tt. So, now the section XX is subjected to direct stress sigma T given as sigma C plus sigma B, and torsional shear tau is equal to 16 times Tt upon pi dc cube. Their equivalent stress tau max will be calculated by sigma T upon 2 square plus tau square under root. You can note that section YY is subjected to no stress. It is free of any kind of stress. Now let us solve one example. Herein we need to analyze the shaft straightener for the stresses developed inside the body of the screw as well as inside the threads of the screw. Now the problem statement, just for consideration, this shaft straightener is nothing but it is just like a pipe hoist which will be utilized for straightening the shafts undergone bending. Suppose permanent bend is appearing on the shaft, then it will be relieved using this application called as shaft straightener. It is just like a pipe hoist. The construction of a shaft straightener used on the shop floor is shown inside the figure. The screw has single start square threads of 80 millimeter nominal diameter and 10 millimeter pitch. The screw is required to exert a maximum axial force of 10 kilonewton. The mean radius of the friction collar is 30 millimeter. Axial length of the nut is 40. The Coefficient of friction at the threads mu t is equal to, and at the collar both are equal to 0.12. The mean diameter of the rim of the hand wheel is 500. Analyze the application for stresses. Where following the custom of enlisting the given data, as they have specified single star threads, therefore nt is equal to 1, pitch is 10, single start and pitch. So nt multiplied by p, that will be equal to the lead is again 10. The nominal diameter of the screw is being specified as 80 millimeters. One can calculate dm as d minus half the pitch. So here it will be 75. DC core diameter as d minus the pitch. So 80 minus 10 is equal to 70. Then both the coefficient of friction at the threads and at the collar are 0.12. Based on that information, one can calculate phi, the friction angle, as tan inverse of mu. That happens to be equal to 6.84 degrees. Lambda is given by tan inverse of L upon pi dm. L is 10, dm is 75. So lambda is calculated as 2.43 degrees. Then they have specified the load required to be applied as 10,000 Newton. Mean collar radius 30. Mean collar radius is specified. That means they are expecting to use uniform wear theory, wherein mu c will be calculated as, sorry, TC will be calculated as mu c WRM. Height of the nut is 40. Then unsupported length of the screw, that is specified in terms of, here, maximum travel of the screw is 100 millimeter. So unsupported length of the screw is specified in terms of maximum travel of the screw. So LUS is 100 millimeters. Now here we are in position to calculate TC directly, because we are knowing mu c, W and Rn, all the three things. So in this case, TC happens to be equal to 36,000. Then I just carry forwarded the things for convenience. Then TT, torque required to overcome the thread friction, is equal to WDM upon 2 tan of phi plus minus lambda. So here W is 10,000, dm is 75, phi is 6.84, lambda is 2.43. So we can calculate TT as equal to 61,208 Newton millimeter. Now we are knowing value of TT and TC both. So therefore we are in position to calculate T, the total torque required to operate the application, which will be equal to TT plus TC. So it happens to be equal to 97,208. Now the total torque required to operate the application is 97,208, which will be equal to operator force multiplied by LP. Here they have specified the diameter of the shaft as diameter of the hand wheel required to operate the screw as 500. So we need to take it into account the radius of the hand wheel, assuming that hand wheel is operated on only with one hand. So LB is represented as radius of the hand wheel, which will be equal to 250. So now using value of T and LB in the formula, we are in position to calculate the operator force P, which happens to be equal to 389 Newton. Axial length of the nut being specified as 40, and pitch is equal to 10 millimeters. We know in the problem statement they have specified the pitch. Axial length or height of the nut is given by P into Z. So here H is specified to be equal to 40, P is known to be equal to 10. So Z, the number of threads in contact, is equal to 4. Now in the formulae of shear stress develop inside the threads of the screw, shear stress develop inside the threads of the nut, and bearing pressure at the interface of screw and nut. The formulae, in these formulae, we are knowing all the things. We are knowing W, DC, Z, T is half the pitch. In this case, it will be 5. Here we are knowing D, here we are knowing all the things. So we are in position to calculate stresses developed inside the threads of the screw directly, because we are knowing all the things. Now here we are familiar with arrangement like this, and actually the arrangement we are familiar with is horizontal, whereas in this particular case they have specified a vertical arrangement, but you can assume that by rotating as if it is a horizontal position. So here section AA is the section away from the workpiece, and section BB is the section nearer to the workpiece. As in case of bench-wise, section XX is nearer to the workpiece and section YY is away from the workpiece. So here section BB is the nearer to the workpiece and section AA will be away from the workpiece, and that will be analyzed on the same line. So here for section BB which will be nearer to the workpiece, that will be analyzed on the line of section XX. So here compressive stress developed will be calculated as W upon pi by 4 DC square. We are knowing W, also we are knowing value of DC. So sigma C will be calculated. Torsional shear based on TC. We are knowing TC, we are knowing DC. So we are in position to calculate torsional shear stress developed inside section BB, and that will be equal to 0.534 Newton per millimeter square. And their combination or their equivalent maximum stress developed inside section BB or section XX will be calculated as sigma C upon 2 square plus tau square root under root. So in this particular case, that happens to be equal to 1.4. Now section A is which is away from the workpiece, which will be analyzed on the lines of section YY. Here it will be subjected to bending stress 32 times MB upon pi dc cube. MB is equal to P into LUS. Here value of P, the operator force, is known to us. Also US, unsupported length of the screw, is also known to us. So knowing the value of P and LUS, we are in position to calculate MB, the bending moment, and using that we are in position to calculate sigma B. Here I have just carry forwarded the formulae for convenience, and here I have actually used those formulas. So here in this particular case, knowing value of MB and DC, we can calculate sigma B, which happens to be equal to 1.155. Now torsional shear developed will be calculated based on T, the total torque required to operate the application. So in this case, tau will be given by 16 times T upon pi dc cube, and which is calculated to be equal to 1.443. Their equivalent will be calculated based on maximum shear stress theory, which is equal to under root sigma b upon 2 square plus tau square. Knowing all the values of sigma b and tau, we are in position to calculate maximum stress developed inside section AA, which we have calculated based on the lines of section YY, as if it is a section YY, or it is the maximum stress in the section of the screw which is away from the workpiece. Now here, as we have already discussed, we are knowing all the things required to calculate tau S, the stress developed inside the threads of the screw, tau N, stress developed inside the threads of the nut, and bearing pressure at the interface of the screw. We are knowing all the things, just we have used known things in the formulae, and we have calculated induced bearing pressure, maximum shear stress in the threads of the screw, and maximum shear stress inside the threads of the nut, which are equal to 2.12, 2.27 and 1.99 respectively. Also we have calculated efficiency. We have calculated screw efficiency, that is the efficiency of the screw and nut combination, and overall efficiency of the application. In this formula, we are knowing all the things, just we have used the known things in the formula, and we have calculated efficiency of the screw to be equal to 26%, whereas overall efficiency of the application is equal to 16.37%. Now you can see here, overall efficiency of the application is lesser than 50%. That means it is a self-locking screw. It will not get lowered down of its own. So thus we have answered all the questions they are asking to us. Therefore, This is the end of this PPT. In this PPT, we have studied what are the stresses in the body or shank of the screw, what are the stresses in the threads of the screw and nut, what is the height of the nut, and how to analyze different sections of the screw based on different formulae, and how to calculate maximum shear stress developed inside the different sections of the screw, different sections of the body of the screw. So that's all as far as this PPT is concerned.